Well, what's up, everybody? Um, yeah, so if you've been following along today, I obviously got the Analog 3D in, and I'm going to be giving it a whirl. And in the process of like setting all this up, I realized my entire streaming setup, my entire like office area, is not really conducive to me playing games on a TV while I stream and having a camera on and all the stuff. Um, the I have kind of like a U around me. You can't really see it, obviously, because I've got the background taken out. But I've got my main desk, which has my super ultra wide monitor on here that I use for work, and then I've got an L-shaped standing desk that I reviewed uh, about a year or so ago from FlexiSpot, and on it has a 4K TV that's kind of meant for console games while I'm doing reviews, and then straight behind me is a 4K 144 hertz monitor that's hooked up to an Asus Strix Scar 5080 powered laptop. That's kind of like a second PC. When we do graphics card reviews, I typically have our test bench hooked up to that monitor. The test bench is provided by crap. I'm blanking on their names now. Starforge Systems, and when I'm not test benching stuff, that usually just sits behind me. Um, I made the recent change with the laptop. One of these days, I'll have to just turn off, clean up, turn off the background, so it makes a whole lot easier to explain. But as a result, I could set a camera up here. In fact, I do have a camera set up here in front of the TV and play it like this, but I don't have a microphone set up over there. So what I'm going to probably end up doing when I decide to do console specifically console streams is actually set up the stream on the laptop, because it's powerful enough to do just a basic Elgato feed in stream, um, and then have a separate microphone over there, have a webcam specifically for that. So, funnily enough, despite having the TV on next to me, I'll actually be playing it using the video feed from Elgato right here. So, I'm hoping there's not a massive delay. Um, this is pretty cool, though. This is a unit that I actually did by myself. We were in talks with Analogue about getting a unit sent out, but by the time that those talks started, reviews had already started to go up, and we're an MMO site. There's no real reason why they should be sending us one. Um, while most of our readers do skew older, obviously we run a website that talks about games that have been around for 20 plus years. The site has been around since 2002. Um, so a lot of our readers grew up playing these games on the original hardware. It's not our wheelhouse. It's not the main thing we cover. I started to do kind of more of a retro push the last couple weeks, and that is purely because it has helped kind of rekindle my love for gaming. Um, Last year was kind of horrible in terms of I had one of my best friends pass away, and he was one of my main MMO drivers. He was one of the guys that I would play every MMO with, to the point where pretty much every MMO that I play now is kind of shadowed by the fact that he's no longer with us. And so it's been really hard to play those games. Uh, and what has helped me kind of rekindle my love for this hobby that became a career have been things like a Game Boy Advance, getting a GameCube again, setting up my PS1 about a week ago. Um, I did buy an N64. I actually traded an Analog Pocket for an N64 and a couple games, because I had two Analog Pockets, and that really helped. Um, I have a CRT TV actually set up right over here to the left of me, and I've been playing on that. But ever since the Analog 3D was announced, I've really wanted one of these things, because what I've always wanted to do is to be able to revisit these games, but on my couch with a big screen. And like the little $20 you know, analog to HDMI things you can get off Amazon. I have one right here actually, um, that I was using for my GameCube. This is actually what I used for the recent PlayStation 1 stream I did, which I'll be going back to doing that here soon as well. Um, they don't look good on the big screen. Um, so the nice thing about that is I could feed it into a capture card, stream it on here while still playing it on the CRT. But the Analog 3D only does HDMI, so obviously it it means that I kind of have to play it on the TV. The nice thing about that though is it means it's a full 4K console. Um, the actual games themselves are not being upscaled or anything like that. It's just simply being that the games themselves are not 4K, but the presentation has been set up in a way where it looks very similar to how it would have looked on your CRT TV, but instead it's blown up on your big 4K screen. So these are actually all the cartridges that I have uh, next to me. The artwork isn't standard. You actually have to go and set it up as you're updating the analog itself, or you could throw it in the SD card at any time. Retro Game Core actually has a really cool um, tutorial on how to do that. Um, and the cool thing is the the analog, in theory, will just recognize the cartridge when you put it in, and it will snap to the game. So right now I have Ocarina of Time in there. That's why it says I could play the cartridge if I wanted to. But just took it out. If I wanted to switch to, say, Pokemon Stadium 2, if the camera will deign to show it off, I simply just pop it in, and it should automatically snap to it. There you go. Yeah. I was noticing some issues though. This thing is finicky. You have to make sure you clean the pins, and they do provide two little pin cleaners um, that doesn't take long to get dirty. I don't know how well you can see that, um, but that's disgusting. And I noticed if I didn't have these things completely clean, like I was swiping and swiping and swiping, it would not read games. It struggled to read my Star Fox 64 cartridge. It struggled to read um, my Rampage World Tour. Funnily enough, the game it didn't. Star Wars Episode 1 Racer, it struggled to read that. I had to I had to clean that multiple times, and then turn off the console, put the cartridge in, turn on the console with the cartridge in there, and that only then did it recognize that. So there's still some stuff to some kinks here to work out. This thing's only been out for a few months, and the software, I mean, it just had an update a few days ago, so they're still working on the software side of things. Um, the other cool thing is you can kind of configure everything based on the game itself. And I'm actually using, because I can't sit, I guess the wire's short enough, I could do it. But I'm actually using the 8-bit Do 64 controller. I bought this originally for Switch because it works on Nintendo Switch for the N64 there. And then when I started talking about getting the Analog 3D, I realized I really wanted this thing. Um, for that specifically. So I'll be using this probably a little bit today. I do have two N64 Trident controllers. Um, I have the Atomic Purple N64 or Analog 3D, and I have an Atomic Purple N64 controller, one of the original ones. My original N64 has been reshelled in an Atomic Purple shell. Noticing a theme here. It might be one of my favorite colors. Um, I have the Fantastic Grape 8-bit Do controller coming, but with Chinese Lunar New Year going on right now, they're not shipping anything out of their factory until after the holiday, so it probably won't be here till March at this point. And then I have a version of this, but it's the gray with the original colors of all the buttons to make it look like a gray Trident N64, but in the 8-bit DOE form factor. That's actually going to be here tomorrow. So in theory, I'll have a total of 4 controllers for people to play all of these games with. Anyways, um, the cool thing about the software is you can actually um, adjust it based on the game itself, and it will save your per game um, settings. What I like about this too is if you're someone like me who can't stand slowdown, one of the reasons why I never finished the original Perfect Dark on N64 was because that, and actually GoldenEye, was because the frame rate chugged at such a low point that I couldn't get over it. So I do like the fact that you can overclock things. This isn't always great. Sometimes it introduces some weird um, results because a lot of these games the physics was tied to the game the game's frame rate. um when I actually bought some of these games at one of my local game stores, the guy who ran the game counter, it's a place here in Vegas called We Play Games. The guy who ran the video game counter at the East location has an analog. I keep saying pocket. That's what I've had for over a year. Has the 3D as well, and he was giving me all sorts of advice on the games that I was buying. One of the games I bought was Cruis'n USA. Not a great game, but it's a game I remember playing both at home, and it was one of the few games they had in the arcade on the Air Force Base that I grew up on, and it's just nostalgia uh, that kind of forced my hand. And it's a pretty low cost game. N64 games have gotten expensive for the ones that I really want, like Paper Mario, Mystical Ninja, stuff like that. And he was like, so he very specifically said, do not play it on Unleashed Plus because it will actually break things. So I'm actually not sure what to choose here. So I'm going to choose auto for a lot of these. Other thing are the display modes. It comes with 5, I believe. I think it's 5 built in BVM, PVM, CRT, scan lines, and then just a clean image. I I was toying around with this earlier. I actually almost forgot to pick up my kid from tutoring because I was toying around with this. It was a bad parenting job on my part there earlier, and I was playing Ocarina of Time, and it was not the clean just doesn't look good. I'm not a huge fan of scan lines, though. It could have just been that one game. I found myself bouncing between the CRT and the BVM. Um, we're gonna try some stuff out though. I have Star Wars Episode 1 Racer in there, but I really want to play Ocarina of Time. I think that is like the game that I oftentimes say that there was a period of in my life where certain games made me realize that these could be more than just entertainment. These could be stories. These could be art. The 2 games that did that was Ocarina of Time and Final Fantasy VII, the original on PlayStation 1. I got both of those games the same year. Um, I believe I got Ocarina of Time for my birthday. Um, I can't remember for sure if it was birthday or Christmas, but I got it when I was 11, so 98. And I got Final Fantasy VII that same year. And that one I do remember getting for my birthday because I think that was the year that my dad actually bought a PlayStation 1 out of the back of someone's car. With it had a couple games, and one of those games was Final Fantasy VII. Um, and those are the 2 games that really kind of shaped me, changed how I looked at video games. And Ocarina of Time is actually the first game I ever beat. I had played other RPGs, like I'd played Link's Awakening on my Game Boy for years. I had played the original Final Fantasy on the Super Nintendo, not the Super Nintendo, the Nintendo itself, back when we lived in Michigan at my aunt and uncle's house. And I remember not understanding how to play games. Um, that was back when I was like preschool, kindergarten, you know. The Link's Awakening was when we were traveling from Michigan to Las Vegas, where I live now, and that was just the game that kept us going in the back of the car. And it wasn't until I played Final Fantasy VII and then Ocarina of Time where like I started to really get video games. So I think this is what we're gonna play. I've got oh, I thought I had Star Wars Racer in here. I have Pokemon Stadium still. So let's pop that in, see if it snaps to it. Boom, snaps to it. The other thing I like about this is it simulates the Rumble Pack. It simulates the expansion, like the expansion pack in the console itself. It simulates the controller pack, the little memory card that you have to pop into the back of the controller for some games like Duke Nukem, Rampage, and the like. I don't have to do any of that with this. I could if I wanted to. It supports all the accessories, but I don't want to. Oh, I just realized I'm gonna have the TV playing as well as the game, so I'm gonna turn on the TV real quick. There's just something about this. It's so good. I think I have, yeah, I've got PVM set up with this one. I like the fact that you can adjust the display while you are actually playing the game. Yeah, I think we're gonna stay with PVM. So funnily enough, I actually started playing this again, but on my 3DS. I thought that was going to be where I did all of my retro stuff. Was my Game Boy and my 2DS. I said 3DS, just 2DS XL. And no, nope, nope. There's something about having this original hardware that makes me really happy. I remember being blown away by these cutscenes when I was a kid. Just utterly blown away. There's a pixel missing. Up there at the top left. That's so weird. I'm now curious. I can't really tell anymore. There was like a small little black pixel right there up towards the top left corner. That's dedication. If that's like an actual pixel, it's gone dead in the display mode. It seems the time has come for the boy without a fairy to begin his journey. Think Thank you, great Deku Tree. It's so weird knowing I have it right there, but I have to play it here. Why do I do these things to myself? That voice will haunt all of our dreams. Like, it's the voice that haunts a generation. Yes, it really can depend on such a lazy boy. I have to say, this Elgato 4KX is doing a good job of having next to no latency. No more than I'd have if it was just TV input latency. Alright, so we need to go. God. They did a really good job with these display filters. Even CRT looks really good. I think I might actually prefer CRT. Yeah, I don't think I like scan lines. I think, oh god, yeah, clean. Just not. It's chunky. I think we're gonna go back to. I think we'll stick with PVM. Though the more warm tone of the CRT looks pretty good too. Kind of hope that there's a point where we could actually, like, there's community-made filters as well that we could use. Stick with CRT. Yahoo! Hi, Link. Speak. Yes, I have a fairy now, sorry. I am a true Kokiri. I am very important, yay. The other thing I hope that Analogue does, it allows you to use whatever controller you want. This thing obviously has Bluetooth, that's how it's connected to the 8-bit DO 64. I really like the Ultimate 8-bit DO. I have a lot of 8-bit DO controllers now, it seems. The SN30 Pro is pretty good too. I could see some people wanting to use this. I actually use this for when I'm playing games on my laptop. I have the GB operator, and I'll pop in Pokemon Blue or something, speed up the emulation, and just go to town with this thing. This thing lives in my backpack normally. I think I had it out just to charge it. But yeah, I think it'd be really cool if people could eventually just not plug in, but like Bluetooth their own controllers to the device. If they have like the partnership with 8-bit DO on the 64, at least get those ones like their roster of controllers working. I'm happy they finally got the Nintendo Switch Online controller to work. That didn't work out of the gate. All right, we gotta get us a shield and a sword. I can't remember. Am I? Okay, we're doing auto. The other thing I like is that option there where it says force original hardware. If you were fine with the performance of the original N64 on some of these games, I like that it gives you the option to just force that original hardware emulation. Like, there's nothing fancy going on. You don't need the fancy overclock. You're totally fine with perfect dark chugging at 19 FPS or whatever it is. That option exists for you. Gotta remember where all the rupees are. I know I need 40 for the shield. We're gonna get there. We're just gonna start robbing our neighbors. That's what's happening here. Forgot if there's a way to speed up the text. Nope. Nope, I am, let's say, why not? Now the question I have is, I know that this game supports, like, the console itself supports, like, save states and stuff like that. Did it save to my cartridge, or did it save to the Analogue 3D's SD card? I'm assuming because there's no controller pack support, it just saved it to the cartridge. Which is obviously what I'd prefer here, because I still have an original N64, I still have a CRT, I don't mind playing this game on the original hardware. That being said, I'll probably just play it here. Didn't spend all this money on this console for nothing. Yay, I spoke to her. You know what, I'm thinking of the DS version that has some of the more modern conveniences, like toggle Z targeting toggle or Z targeting hold. I think you can also speed up the text in the DS version, which is, like I said, the most recent version I've played. Oh, let's see if I still have this skill. Having to relearn how to play old games without the right stick for the camera. Yes, Navi, I know. I'm well aware. See, boy, I have the shield. I have to remember too, on this controller there are two Z buttons. The left and right triggers are Z, which is really nice in a game like Duke Nukem or GoldenEye, where I want to be able to pull the gun trigger with my right finger as opposed to my left, like I would on the Trident controller. But I have to remember that L and R on this controller are just the bumpers. Looking for the start button, like the select button on a regular controller, forgetting that this has like the literal start button. Alright, let's go get us a sword. I remember too, like, okay, so this must be doing some subtle overclocking, because that, when I played through that like little portion there, the last time I played it on the cartridge, there was some FPS slowdown there. I'm gonna have to do some A/B like testing, where I capture gameplay footage of the same area on the Analogue and on my original hardware, Let's see if I can kind of compare the two, capture the two. I can't skip all this. Let me skip it. Also, I gotta remember I can't use the D-pad for this to navigate menus. I do like this controller, it's fairly comfortable. The control, like the analog stick, it's still gated. Like it still has like that 8-side gate that you would normally get with a regular N64 joystick, but it doesn't have like the springiness, the snappiness that that original joystick had. It's not bad. It just feels modern. I guess it's a Hall effect stick, so of course it's modern. But I do wonder if maybe some games I'll just prefer on the original controller. Alright, let's go make what's his face angry. Mido, however you want to pronounce it. If you want to see the Great Deku Tree, you should at least equip a sword and a shield. Yeah, what's that? Oh, you have a Deku shield. And what's that? Is that the Kokiri sword? Good grief. Well, even with all that stuff, a wimp is still a wimp, huh? I, the great Mido, will never accept you as one of us. Shoot, how did you get to be the favorite of Saria and the Great Deku Tree, huh? It's because I'm not a... It's a family show. I'm not gonna say it. Alright. See if I can make heads or tails of these controls. Oh, sweet, I can skip those ones. Alright. Yay! Navi's back. Thy slumber these past moons must have been restless and full of nightmares. Why, yes, they have been. Thanks to you. Or something. Why, yes, I do have the courage. Thou must aid Link. Link, when Navi speaks, use the up C button. There's just something about there's just something about that music triggers core memories. Greatest winter break of my life. Okay. Yeah, that was a moment where I forgot that Z is different. Alright, let's do this. Some nuts. Oh, I guess I should also start setting up some stuff. I do actually wish that the Z targeting felt a little bit more. I don't know what it's snappy. Yes, I can climb it, Navi. Thank you. It is also just a toggle. I kind of wish it was a hold. Again, last time I played this was on the DS, which lets you choose. Oh God, this filter's so good. They even have like the subtle chromatic aberration on the sides. Let's pop it over to PVM and see what we've been missing here by changing it. I mean, that looks good too. It's subtle though. It actually feels weird not to use the right trigger for that. I also kind of wish you could remap buttons. Maybe they'll let you do that if they ever support more than just the 8-bit DOE 64 controller. I mean, you're gonna kind of have to because there are a lot more buttons on this. That's assuming they have that even on their roadmap. Remember the first time I jumped on that, I was like 14 years old and I was freaking out thinking that it was gonna fall and I was gonna die. Yay, I got the fairy slingshot. Alright, let's get this set up. It's so funny, like with this, the inverted controls doesn't bother me. Other shooters totally wrecks me. I had that issue the other night when I started to play my brother's copy of Duke Nukem 64. You can't change it from being inverted, and it was just messing me up, man. Utterly messing me up. I do also like the fact that you can just Z target and then shoot. You don't have to faff around. But, oh shoot. Not what I meant. Ah! That's the other thing, I'm trying to like Z target those guys and instead of changing the camera. Which, I mean, on one hand I do kind of appreciate being able to change the camera. But on the other, I really would love it to Z target the nearest enemy. Oh, I'm too far away. Oh, maybe. Yeah. I'm just happy I'm not having to use gyro controls. Those things suck. I think what I would like, obviously, FPGA is probably a lot easier to do with a cartridge as opposed to like a disc. But I would love to see something similar for this, for like the GameCube or the PS1. Yeah, I don't know why it's not just Z targeting immediately. Navi is clearly like spazzing out next to it. Also, does the... Oh, shoot. I was going to say, does the L button actually do anything in this game? And it does. Look at that. I'll figure it out. I'll get back into the swing of things. I also thought this was like the coolest thing, being able to light my stick on fire. And light other things on fire. Yes, I am just skipping that chest, by the way. I deliberately skipped that chest. I knew it would make some people out there angry. What I will not be skipping is the Skulltula, though. Whatever it's called. We did it, you guys. We got one of these things. I'm gonna change the button here, because obviously I'm used to my thing being on that one. We did it, you guys. We got two of them. Skulltula. I guess... Oh, I just got it. I was today years old. It's a skull tarantula. Figured it out. Oh, yeah, I gotta light that on fire. I was so excited that I finally figured out what a Skulltula was supposed to be. Skulltula? Tarantula? Why don't we say chew? Am I the only one who says chew? Yeah, when I did that for the first time, I thought I was like video game Jesus. I thought it was so cool. I actually think I'm preferring this PVM filter. 2, 3, 1. 23 is number 1. I may or may not have played this game a few times. Oh yeah, I have to swim here. I bet there are interesting things under the water, Navi. Good foreshadowing. Can't I get on it in time? No! I don't think I'll be back in time. Oh, it might be. Okay. Cool. Oh wow, I missed it. I'm usually pretty good about timing that. I'm gonna blame the stream delay. indeed pay attention to what the action icon says. Thank you for your service there, Navi. Part of me is happy I'm starting this over because my DS version, I like stopped playing. Maybe I'll play this with the regular controller. I keep hitting the Z trigger on the right when I mean to be holding up my shield. That might have to be a rule or something, I don't know. Yeah, I can put it away. Oh crap, I didn't even see him there. I like that his body still has collision, even when he's dead. Was it the little gomas? No! How did I miss him? He was right in front of me. That was luck. That was not skill just now. No! Alright, Joseph. Figure your crap out. I swear I'm not bad at video games. I might be a little bad at video games, guys. Also, that sounds different to me. Maybe it's because I'm wearing headphones and not coming out of the sides of a crappy CRT speaker, but yeah, that was interesting just now. I don't remember the death throes chime being like that. I don't know how to describe it either. Let's go kill this one now. Just get it over with. Dang it. You're supposed to give me health. How did you regrow? I like barely left you. Oh yeah, that's right. I did a thing and it made a good sound, you guys. That was weird. Thought it would scream the whole way down. Alright, 23 is number 1, guys. We did it, you guys. We're totally heroes. We're gonna save the great deck feature. Nothing could possibly go wrong. He's my kind of henchman, the kind who's only in it for himself. I also thought like this walk out to Queen Goma, just lingering in the rafters, was so cool. Also, the fog blew my mind as when I was growing up. I think the boss fight wouldn't trigger until you like look her in the eye. Little cool things like that. Wrong button, Joseph. Okay, how am I missing every single one of these? Not facing the right way. Alright, well that was fast. Twas real fast. Queen Goma is dead. I got a heart container, you guys. Alright, let's go talk to Messer Deku Tree. Yes, I will listen to thy tale. A wicked man of the desert cast this dreadful curse upon me. He do be liking that sacred realm, though. It is in that sacred realm that one will find the divine relic, the Triforce. They even got like the feel of the rumble. Like the rumble pack has like that iconic center of gravity rumble. It doesn't like rumble like modern controllers do, and they even like figured out a way to like emulate how that could feel. I'm gonna be curious when I play Star Fox with this if it will make me smile the same way I smiled the first time I played it again a few months ago using a rumble pack. Okay, it can't just be me. This is literally replicating what it might look like to have like edge pixels that are like going out or something. I don't know. I love that. Okay, That actually feels like more modern Rumble. I'll be very curious too, like what Mod Retro's answer is going to be. They're going to have their own Trident controller. Um, will it be compatible with these? Will it be compatible with other third-party controllers, or are they going to go the same route they did with the Chromatic, where it is just this is the closest thing we can get. I just triggered something with my webcam by holding up my hands. This is as close as we can get to a modern version of the original console. And yeah, it's going to have some modern conveniences because it has to be able to, 4K. But we want that original feel like they did with the Chromatic Game Boy, which is still like I've come to love my Analog Pocket. More so, it's become my my handheld that I take with me on trips. Just because the extra open FPGA cores mean I can play more than just my Game Boy cards on it. But when we're talking about like a pure Game Boy experience, the Mod Retro Chromatic has that in spades. Like the 1-for-1 pixel density on the screen, like it is a 160 by 140 grid. The buttons feel just so good. The weight and the ergonomics of that feel like I'm holding an old DMG. It succeeds at what it's trying to do. It's trying to be the best version of a modern Game Boy Color it can be. I feel like that's what their M64 is going to go for, with some modern conveniences. I do wonder if we're going to see some of the same features we see on the Analog 3D, like the overclocking feature. I know like some reviewers already have prototype units in the wild. There's a couple that have posted about it. That eject button looks interesting. I have noticed pulling out all the cartridges to see if it would recognize them, that the eject button might be incredibly useful. But we'll see. I just talked all the way through all that exposition, but I have a feeling we've all played this before. It looks really freaking good, though. This is the best this game has ever looked in my mind. I entreat ye, Navi, goodbye. Like that green on that emerald was just brilliant. It looked so good. The other thing I love about this is it can do HDR. The TV I have it hooked up to doesn't really do HDR through its HDMI cables. It's kind of as an old Acer Predator G-Sync monitor that has DisplayPort, but it doesn't have HDMI 2.1. It's 2.0. So it's limited to 60 FPS, which is fine. This console is limited to 60 FPS output, and I dare say there are not going to be any games that go beyond 60. I think the original frame rate of this game is like 24. We might be running at 30 right now. Yeah, I think I'm gonna end Zelda here. I'm gonna try one more game. I like the fact too that I could just quit the cartridge and it just ends it, and I can just swap to another game and live my life. Let me figure out what I want to play. You know what? I said I wanted to try out. I wanted to see how the Rumble felt. Let's boot up Star Fox. Will it recognize it? That's the question. Oh my gosh, it's doing it again. I cannot play my Star Fox if you don't recognize it, you guys. All right. Let me restart the console. It can't be my cart. Like it has to be It recognized it before. Don't know why it's not doing it now. It's not doing it again. Oh my goodness. All right, well, let's remove that one. And then let's, I guess, re-clean the pins on this. I mean, I could play it, but I want it to recognize it. This isn't like a repro either. Yeah, no, it's not. All right, let's try this one more time. I know you're not supposed to do that, but we'll see if that does its magic. If not, then I think we'll just end it there. I think it's a sign. I have a meeting in less than 12 hours. Maybe I should go to bed. It's also been interesting going through this library and seeing all the game studios that just don't exist anymore. It's kind of disheartening, actually, now that I think about it. Okay. Thank you, Jesus in heaven. All right, let's get rid of that. Let's configure this one. I actually want to make sure it's overclocking a little bit, so we're going to enhanced. And yeah, we'll do integer plus. Nope, not hard. Integer plus, like we did on Zelda. We'll see how this goes. Iconic.
Message from General Pepper. Priority.
We're not going to listen to all that, but iconic. This might actually be one of the games where I think I would prefer the original just from the way the stick feels. But we'll see. I don't have medals in every single
showed up,
one.
Fox. You're the only hope for our world.
I'll
General
do my
Pepper.
best. Andros won't have his way with me.
That is his name, isn't it? General Pepper?
Good luck.
I wonder if that's a reference to Sergeant Pepper.
Open the wing.
Yeah, this doesn't actually feel too bad. I'm not getting rumble though. Whoa.
Get back here.
I pressed the thing.
Flippy,
There we
watch
go.
out.
There's the
Don't be on
rumble.
your tail.
But in doing so,
Whoa! Help me!
it
Thanks, Bot. I thought they had me.
it froze up the controller. I do like you can swap between the two. There are some games that actually have you do that. Rampage will have you swap in the controller
We're
pack
entering
to
Corneria
save,
City now.
swap back in the rumble pack.
This is horrible.
They've mimicked that vibration feel so well. It's
Everybody
all
stay
coming
alert.
from like the center of the controller like it would normally. It's a bit more pronounced than that. Like it is happening some on the sides, like you would expect in a modern day controller.
You got an enemy
But it
on your tail.
feels very much
Use
like
the brake.
Rumble Pack feels. God, they did a good. Oh God, no! I like my wings. What am I doing? I do actually
I'll take
miss
this
the original
Get the
sticks
one
now.
behind you.
I might play this game using the original controller too.
Something's wrong with the G diffuser. Use the booster tank.
Do I let Falco die?
I could use some help here, Fox. I guess I should be thankful.
I don't know why I grabbed that. I needed the bomb.
Do a barrel roll.
Ah! Maybe I need the wing. Who knows? There's something about this stick. The more I play, the more I feel uncomfortable playing. If that makes any
Pretty
sense.
smooth flying, Fox.
I'm not gonna get the medal. I'm not gonna try.
Ah! Follow me, Fox.
I don't know. It feels
Falco,
too
where you
accurate.
going?
If that makes any sense.
I found the target. Try to keep up.
I actually felt like this when I was playing it on the Switch emulator with this controller, but I honestly thought it was just the emulator.
Gotcha.
No, I missed it. Thought it was in line. It was not.
Ah, someone wants to play.
Incoming enemy from the rear.
This
Drop
one feels pretty
altitude.
natural in the button layout though. Z, the right bumper.
Enemy shield analyzed.
I used to feel comfortable doing like a somersault there over the gap,
Deploy
but
all
the way
units.
I've controlled tonight.
Charge! I've got a present for you.
Oh, I didn't mean to shoot a bomb. Oh my god,
That's it.
this
Fox.
button's too stiff.
Aim
Yeah,
for the open spot.
original Trident controller is the Star Fox controller. Just we're learning that in real time, guys.
Yeah, it's working.
Oh god, this button's too stiff.
Hey,
I'm gonna be dead by
Einstein,
now.
I'm on your...
Shut up.
Who
God,
are
I
you
must
guys?
look like I don't know what I'm doing. I swear,
Clear
I'm
Star
really good at
Fox.
this game.
You'll never defeat Android!
Alright. I think I'll call it there. I'm fumbling. I do like the way they've figured out the rumble in this though.
We're heading out. All aircraft report.
You did it! I was worried for a moment.
It looks so good.
You're
though, oh my
becoming more
gosh.
like your father.
These filters.
I'm fine. You
are doing
okay over
such
there,
a
Fox?
good job of making this look like I remember it looking. Alright, I think I'm done. Thanks for hanging out, guys. I do appreciate it. This is the start of my review of this console. We're gonna top 671. Could have swore oh, you know what? I don't think I've actually beaten the game on this cartridge. I was playing it on my my 3DS. Yeah, 2DS. I keep saying 3DS, but it's 2DS. Yeah, this is just the start of this review. Gotta have a lot more games to play, a lot more games to A/B test. Gotta do some multiplayer testing. I'm sure my buddies in the FGC here would love to come over and play some Killer Instinct Gold. We'll see. I don't actually have the original. That is actually a repro, and that one is recognized every time, whereas my Star Fox is not. So that's interesting. This Star Fox must just be old and dirty, and I have to just clean it. The tolerance I'm noticing, the original N64 is a lot more tolerable to dirty cartridge pins than the Analog, and maybe it's simply because the Analog is just new, you know. Anyways, thanks for hanging out. I do really appreciate it, and we'll catch you on the next one.